Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hannah, if it's okay with you, I would like to begin with a fairy tale. Once upon a time,
Oh, you're beginning.
there lived a man and his precious fishy swimmers.
Shane.
And one day, when the time was right, the man told his fishy swimmers to venture out into the vast, wide, unknown ocean in search of the ultimate treasure. The fishy swimmers went on their way on this big adventure out into the grand, wild unknown. And the man, the wise, handsome man, sat at home waiting eagerly. All the fishy swimmers died. They never came back. And the wise, old, happy, charming, handsome man lived the rest of his life without them. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
It's time
To talk
about...
our lives.
All right, so enough of Shane's involvement in this video. I'm actually going to take it from here. And from now on, only I will speak.
I am only capable of handling the most serious topics with what you just heard.
I did like the analogy. I think
Thank
it was,
you.
let's talk about the man and his fish.
My contributions are done for this video. Hannah will tell you the rest.
Okay, so basically what we're going to talk about in this video is what happened in the last few months related to IVF and kind of where we're at right now. We're not going to go back into like how we started last October. Like if you want to watch that video, we can link it down below.
Yeah.
But picking up where we kind of left off, which was over the summer, we had done an egg retrieval, and on that day found out basically that Shane didn't have any sperm, and that was zero. That was because of the medication that he was on. Previously, when we had been doing testing and starting IVF, he had plenty of sperm, so like it was a huge shock to us.
Yeah.
And
But we did get lots of eggs.
yes, so we froze my eggs, and for the next 7 months, Shane made some lifestyle changes to hopefully increase his sperm production.
And they were big lifestyle changes that were not sustainable forever. So
Yeah.
we were
On the clock.
Time was not on our side. Let's put it that way.
Yes. So Shane made those changes. Every month we would go in and test his sperm. There were like 0 for a while, then it started getting a bit better, got a bit better.
Guys, I have done so many sperm analyses.
Yeah.
The clinic like knows me on a first name basis.
Yeah.
I'm like
Oh,
friends
yeah.
with all of them. They're like intimately aware of my numbers.
Yes, yes. Everyone's like, rooting for you, Shane.
Come on, fishy swimmers.
Okay. So anyway, finally in early October, Shane's numbers were, it was like late September, early October, his numbers were high enough that we scheduled an egg warm, which is where they defrost some of my eggs and try to fertilize them with Shane's sperm.
And just for the emotional side of it, we were feeling pretty good at that moment. Like the changes that we made had improved my numbers,
Yeah.
which we didn't know if that would even work.
Yeah.
So like the fact that, don't get me wrong, it's not like I was, drowning in fishy swimmers. I have like 10 now, like
Yeah.
barely enough, but like it seemed like it was worth it. So we
Yes.
were happy.
Yeah, so we were pleased. This was before we went to LA, so this is all in Minnesota. And it was actually like the week we were supposed to leave for LA. It delayed our trip out here. We waited as long as we could, but we had a deadline to get here for an event. So
Yeah.
we went in to give the fishy swimmers and then left that morning for LA. We did like an 8-hour drive that day straight from the clinic.
Yeah. And for the whole drive to LA, we were basically waiting on the news of like,
Did it work?
did it work?
Yeah. So when you fertilize eggs, you basically hear the next day to find out how many of them successfully fertilized. And then if any of them did, they'll call you on like day 3 and then day 5 and see how many actual embryos you got.
Yeah.
So the next day we get a call that none of the eggs successfully fertilized. We got 7 sperm that were like good.
7 sperm, guys.
Yes, better than 0.
I get an award.
But none of them fertilized correctly.
Yeah.
But they were like, we're gonna hold on to like 3 or 4 of them because we might have just missed the fertilization window. Basically, like they have to look at it at a very specific moment to see the nucleus, then it disappears. They might have just missed it. So then they called us 2 days later that actually 2 of them were dividing. And they had like the correct number of cells, and like we were completely shocked. Like we had given up all hope.
I remember exactly where I was in the middle of Utah.
Yes.
And
St. George, Utah.
just like my jaw dropping. Like
Yeah.
they told us initially, we're holding on to these, but don't get your hopes up.
Yes.
And then it seemed like it was working. They were like, there's some that are dividing. Like
Yep.
you have more than one cell.
Yes,
You
yes.
have a multi-cell
We had like 6
organism.
cells. It was like the correct number, or maybe it was 8. Anyway,
I
then
began telling my family, like, I have 6 cells. We did it.
we did together. We have made cells. Isn't that cool? That's pretty cool.
In a way, we're already parents.
Yep. Well, 2 days later, we get a call. Unfortunately, they both fizzled
Perished.
out.
They perished.
They stopped dividing and they finished.
That was really hard
Yeah,
to
so
hear.
no embryos. And at that point, that was like, we figured our final attempt.
Yeah.
Because we were coming out to LA. Our eggs were in Minnesota. Our clinic is in Minnesota. Like, we thought we would hopefully get an embryo, but then we didn't. So we weren't really sure what we were going to do.
Yeah. We had a very difficult decision to make because I was still undergoing those lifestyle changes that seemed to be helping my numbers. We still had some eggs frozen.
Yeah.
The lifestyle changes, I can't just like flip-flop back and forth. It takes 7-8 months to like get those results.
Yeah, especially because like the sperm production lifetime is already like 3 months.
Yeah.
So you're going back, like you can't just pick, start and stop and get results
Yeah.
quickly.
So after that, fertilization didn't work, it wasn't like I could just go back to life as normal for a few months and then we try again. We'd have to then wait a whole another 7th month
Yeah.
cycle, and that seemed daunting.
Yes, exactly. So we decided that we would go home,
Back to Minnesota.
right before, like our clinic closes in December for like lab maintenance and cleaning and all of that, and for the holidays. So we had to get back by like December 1st, basically. So we left here right before Thanksgiving.
So unexpectedly,
Yep, dropped everything, drove home.
we drove home to do one more attempt.
Yes.
And we did.
We did. So we go in, we do it. The next day we get a call. They had enough sperm for the rest of my eggs. So I think it was 15 of my eggs that they tried to fertilize. And I think 9 of them fertilized normally, where they saw the nucleus, like everything was totally normal, good to go.
9.
So we were like, this is it. Like it is actually happening.
I made so many sperm
Yeah.
that we were able to fertilize 15 eggs.
They actually called us that day before we even found out about the fertilization, and they were like, you have way more sperm than we thought. Would you like to come in 2 days and give another like thing to freeze? And so we did.
Yeah,
we did
do that because I was just pumping the fishy swimmers. This video is never going to be monetized.
I know YouTube is like, we're not showing this to a single soul.
They're like pumping the fishy swimmers. You know what? We've never heard that before, but that's now not allowed
Yep.
on this platform.
That's going on the no-no list.
So anyway, this new news was again very exciting. Like 9 normal fertilizations felt like pretty good odds.
Yeah.
So we were happy again.
Yeah, we were like, oh, so we'll come back in the spring, like we'll have our embryos, or like maybe 1 embryo, maybe 2, like odds are we'll get 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think the clinic was busy because they did it differently this time, where they just called us on day 7. So we waited a week to hear about the embryos. We're figuring no news is good news, like every day that
Stressful.
goes by.
So stressful though.
We're like, yeah, but I think they would have called if like there were none that like, so it's
Yeah.
probably good. And then on day 7, I get a portal message saying you have 0 embryos.
None of them made it.
Yep.
That was really hard.
That's all the information we have.
We're not, I mean, guys, like, even making this video is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Hannah and I have gone through weeks and months now.
Well, this was months ago.
Yeah,
though.
we don't want you to think that our, like, joking attitude is us being careless about this. Like, we've gone through the rough emotional period.
Yes.
And we're out on the other side of it
And
now.
this was also right when we were doing Vlogmas. So the day that we stopped Vlogmas was the day that we got that portal message. It was actually like the day after my birthday. We were like, nope, done.
We're done.
Can't
We
make a video.
spent the rest of December
Just
lounging
laying
around
around.
in our sadness.
Yeah.
We didn't,
Literally.
all of you were like wondering why Vlogmas ended so abruptly, and we didn't feel emotionally ready to talk about that publicly.
Yeah.
That's why we ended it. We just spent time with one another and, trying to
Get over
get
it.
over it. Yeah.
Literally.
Ugh, rough time. Anyway,
So for now, we are done with IVF.
yeah.
We like the idea of going through that again right now is nope, not doing that.
Closet Hannah, nope.
So we're just really like we're enjoying our life together, and
Yeah.
we're
having fun out here in LA.
Yeah.
We're not thinking about IVF at the moment. That's where we're at,
Yeah.
And if it comes up again in the future, so be it. If it doesn't, so be it.
Yep.
We're figuring that out when we get there.
Yeah.
But we're doing well. Thank you for asking.
That sounded so snarky, like that they didn't ask. You're
I didn't-
talking to a
I
camera.
didn't mean it that way. I was trying to be silly. It sounded really
Thanks for
good.
asking. We're fine.
Thanks, everyone. We're doing fine. But we'll keep you guys updated, obviously, whatever ends up happening.
Yes.
But right now, just get ready for some LA lovey-dovey Henderson content featuring no more fishy swimmers.
Yeah, that's a sigh of relief for almost everyone watching that phrase will not come up again.
Thank God we never have to hear about shit sperm.
We are so done with that. Never fear. We will not speak about it again.
All right, everyone.
All right.
Until next time,
We'll see ya.
bye.